my name is Colour Sergeant Nick West from the Royal Marines Band Service, and in this advanced level video number 4 of brass building blocks in collaboration with the National Youth Brass Band of Great Britain, we'll be adding to the exercises we looked at in the previous 3 videos, this time by moving away from the harmonic series when practicing lip flexibilities and introducing some musical ideas that link our oral and theory knowledge to our technical practice. We all hopefully practice our major and minor scales and their arpeggios regularly, but we're going to look at other patterns which we're probably all aware of but don't incorporate into our practice regimes on a regular basis. In the previous 3 videos, the exercises have all been based around either the harmonic series or having a definite key centre or tonic. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate some exercises that are based on intervals instead. To explain what I mean a little more clearly, this first exercise starts on a C, and where previously all notes would have been in the key of C, this time all the notes are going to be a perfect fourth from the one preceding it. As with all the exercises in these videos, we can play all the patterns starting on different notes. So this is the same pattern, but this time starting on a B. You can make use of the video by pausing it to help you write out the exercises. Some of you might want to sit down and write them all out, but you can always try playing them using your theory knowledge and your ear to help your fluency across the instrument. We can use any interval to base an exercise around. Let's take the perfect fifth this time. I'll still use C as a starting note so it's easy to follow the patterns from one exercise to the next. Let's do the same as last time and try that starting on a B. Of course, some intervals create patterns that we know and play for exams. The best example would be minor thirds, which we all know as a diminished seventh pattern. So why not utilise our practice to not only practice our technique and range, but also build in that autonomy of playing a diminished seventh pattern. Here's a good exercise you could do for that. The possibilities to build your own exercises really are endless. If, for instance, we made an exercise based around the major second, we'd be practicing whole tone scales. We could also practice exercises based around the major third, which some of you might know create an augmented triad. They sound a bit like this. You can of course use larger intervals. Try building an exercise around major or minor sixths, for example. Hopefully that's given you enough food for thought and enough ideas to be able to create your own exercises that aren't always based around a major or minor tone centre. There is of course one very important pattern that you likely know about but probably don't include within your practice regimes. I am of course talking about the circle of fifths or circle of fourths. We started the video based on an exercise on the fourth, so let's finish in the same way. If we move through a pattern of perfect fourths, we end up back where we started. You can play the notes in other octaves if you want to work on extremes of range as well, but in this example I'll stick within the normal compass of the instrument. Hopefully you followed how that pattern works. There has to be an enharmonic switch at some point, otherwise the example would end on a D double flat, which nobody likes. You can, of course, do the same pattern but going the other way around the circle, so you'd be playing perfect fifths instead. But you can also expand the idea of either by incorporating an arpeggio based on each note within the pattern. Let me demonstrate this by playing a major arpeggio starting on each note of the pattern. There's a mixture of ascending and descending arpeggios to do this. So that's the end of this fourth video in the series. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey through ideas for practicing your lip flexibilities. I hope I've given you some food for thought on ways you can practice your technique. Good luck, and remember to enjoy the challenge of improving your brass playing.